Hi, everyone. This is DJ John Cawley with DJNTV, Disc Jockey News Television, and I am sitting here with Tyler Wallace. Good to have you here.
Hey,
welcome.
Thanks for having me, John. I appreciate it.
We're here at the Revere Hotel in Boston, and it is the Harvest of Sound 2.0, second year.
Yeah, this is more like the rejuvenation.
I attended the first, which is closer to me in my hometown. Thank you for having it in the beautiful city.
Man, we love having you out.
We are at 200 Stewart Street, downtown Boston today, and we wanted to just catch up with you.
Absolutely.
See what you've been up to and see what's been going on.
Totally.
So I guess to start with the harvest, you can tell us a little bit as to what is it all about and where did it come from?
So where did it come from? I mean, that's a pretty unique story. Well, I guess it's really not. I would say probably 15 to 17-ish years ago. We were all members of what back then was the ADGA of Massachusetts, and we all got together at a local office. One of our actually it's my uncle. My uncle had a get together at his office, and we all brought one or two speakers that we were using at the time. Which back then big things were like when QSC first came out, the Yorkvilles, stuff like that. So figure 10 speakers sitting in a 10 by 10 by 10 office with subwoofers and stuff attached with them too. So it was a great experience because we all got to listen to newer speakers that we had at the time, but also it was uncomfortable because of how loud it was in such a small space.
With Yorkvilles especially.
Man, those things hurt. Back then Yorkville was like the top dog, and they make a great box. So, but yeah, so I mean, we all got together, we brought our own speakers and stuff like that. It was kind of a grassroots thing where, it was just AGGA members of Massachusetts. Hey, let's meet at the office this day. Let's all bring speakers so we can all hear them and stuff like that.
How far back was that? That was 2018, 19? Or? No,
way before that. Probably maybe like 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, it was way back when.
So it's been in the works for a while.
Kind of. So, that happened. And then, nothing really ever after that happened. And then last year, right around end of October, Chris with Carr, the other founder of Harvest of Sound, me and him were talking one day, and he goes, "Hey, you remember that day, whenever it was when we all got together and we were listening to speakers in the office?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "That was really cool, wasn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, man, that was awesome." He goes, "I wish something like that happened more often." I was like, "You might be onto something." So he's like, "Let's plan to do something." So Chris came up with the idea of redoing, the speaker shootout that we had, so many years ago. And he put in the legwork. He found the venue for last year at, in the Quincy place where you were. And, same thing. It was more of a grassroots thing where we'd kind of just, like 20 days before it happened, we put a post on Facebook. Hey, we're planning on doing this DJ meetup. It happens to be Shani's birthday weekend too. So, we're going to do a speaker shootout.
Doesn't hurt to have it. It's her birthday.
It's her birthday week.
Party.
It's her birthday week again too. So here we are again, the same week of December. So
very good.
So, we kind of put the two of them together where, we were doing the speaker shootout and then obviously Shani's birthday, because Shani was planning on coming out, to celebrate with us, anyways. So, we put the two of them together. So the first, 2 or 3 hours of the night was the speaker shootout. Okay. Obviously much more disorganized last year because again, picture, which at the time we thought it was going to be about 50, maybe 60 people coming out and, we'd have a good time, maybe 10 or 15 speakers that we would test. How many people were there last year, John?
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of speakers.
About 160 DJs from about 26 different states showed up.
And you guys really pushing the limits of SPL that day.
Literally. Yeah. And
with a lot of
pink noise and eardrums that were bleeding, and a lot of valuable information came out of last year.
Indeed.
But yeah, so I mean that grew into this year, which we knew going into last year with how many people we had show up, and the positive, the mostly positive feedback that we got, minus obviously the pink noise and the ear bleeding and stuff like that. Not really, nobody's ear bleeding.
Well, Howie and I were there last year.
Yep.
Hey Howie.
We miss you, Howie.
We were in the side room and we just noticed a lot of that coming through the walls.
Yep.
We said, oh, boy, I hope they play a song at some point.
Yeah, and I mean that was kind of the thing last year. Is there was. Ben helped us huge on this. When we first decided to do this, we hit up Ben and I was like, hey, what's the best way to do something like this? Because, obviously this isn't something you do every day. You don't daisy chain, 30 speakers together and hope everything works. Obviously there's going to be signal degradation at some point in the chain.
Yep.
So, Ben had offered to set everything up on his EV DSP and ship it out to us and have us use it, which was great. Mm-hmm. We didn't think we were going to have more than 15 or 16 speakers. So it worked out well.
Sure.
Well, yeah, we ended up with 28 speakers last year, and Ben about a week and a half before the event happened, he, shot me a message on Facebook and said, I'll see you in Boston next week. I was like, all right, cool.
It's legit.
So Ben flew out. Yeah. So, Ben flew out to, take care of it. And again, there was no planning that went into last year at all. So, as far as the test went and everything else like that, that was straight off the cuff. So, we knew that there had to be like some sort of decipherable difference between everything and a way to test for that. And the only way we know how to do that is with reference microphones and pink noise. DJs hate pink noise. So,
Yeah, not a big crowd request. People don't ask for pink noise a lot. But today I heard some Van Halen. It sounded really good coming through the walls.
Yep.
I heard Prince.
You did.
A little reggaeton, a couple of thump, even some classical stuff.
Yep.
So people actually got to hear the speakers in their true colors for the speaker shootout. That was this afternoon.
That was this afternoon, yeah. So we did all of the pink noise testing last night and a little bit this morning, before everybody got here, so that nobody had to be subjected to too much pink noise. Obviously when we're setting them up for the actual, side-by-side comparison, we want the volume we want the volume between, side-by-side comparisons to be the same. So what we do is we set the gain on each speaker using a reference mic to 94 dB. And then to get to that point, the only way to do it, unfortunately, is with pink noise. So there was, we did groups of 6. So, per group of 6, there was, a minute of pink noise that everybody had to listen to all, overall. So, it wasn't anything like last year, so.
Getting the calibration done ahead of time. I was just blowing through the test today, and it was just music, and everyone got a chance to really hear the RCFs, hear the Bose, and hear everything.
And between last night and today, we tested, I think the final number between column arrays, battery-powered speakers, point source, and subwoofers, I think it was somewhere just south, like a couple south of 60.
Okay.
And we blasted through those last night in probably 3 hours.
So. Yeah, and there is video of that surfacing. I've seen it.
There is.
So that will be made available soon. We'll maybe link that so you guys can see what was going on.
Absolutely.
So besides yourself and Chris, who else is?
So we have Lou Paris.
And Lou Paris
has been absolutely pivotal in setting up the speaker shootout this year. I mean, he had gone as far as getting a list of all the speakers we were testing, getting the manufacturer specifications on those speakers so that we could take their specifications and compare it to what we got on the reference microphones. Now, we're not expecting to be, anything super similar because obviously we're not in an anechoic chamber, so there's differences, there's refraction, there's different elements that go into doing it in a not acoustically perfect room. So this gives you the idea of what they'll actually sound like real world.
Okay. And that was Lou, as you had mentioned.
That was Lou Paris.
Charting and a lot of, I saw him even plugging stuff and stuff down.
Yeah, he's still writing stuff down. So all that stuff will, Lou and Ben will work together on getting the results of all that stuff in the next couple of days, and we're going to get that posted for everybody.
Sure. Anyone else in terms of sponsors that you want to say a word to or thank?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously big shout out to our title sponsor, who's Bose. Bose kind of came in full helm this year. Last year they were one of the bigger representatives of speaker brands. They actually sent out, their reps and their marketing guy, Marco, to come out and see us. But we also have, some huge players. We have Brian McGann with Simple Systems, who is sponsoring the lounge at tomorrow night's party. We have Nikki Nell from Visual Sound Productions, who handled all of the stage production. And when I say they put together an absolutely phenomenal stage, literally all I did was give her the dimensions of the stage, and you saw what she came out with. Yeah. I mean, that's it. We have DJ Event Planner. We have the DJ's Vault, who is sponsoring tomorrow night's party. We have a few people who have, come up as far as reaching out to us to sponsor. Obviously we have Ben from NLFX and we have Q with Lou Paris, who both are absolutely, we couldn't do today without them at all. But we also have Danny Max from Max Photo Booth, which is an absolutely amazing guy. He's everywhere and anywhere he can be as far as DJs go. I mean, if you go to any conference or even any of the smaller meetups, Danny's there. So those guys have actually physically helped produce the show this year, because without them, we'd never be able to secure the payments in order to make, what happened, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday happen.
It's not cheap to get this off the ground.
Not even close. I wish it was cheap, but...
And we're looking forward to speaking with Ben and Lou also. We'll try to get them for a couple of minutes if we have the time. Well, while we've got you here, Tyler, what do you see for the future of the show? Where would you like to see it go from here?
So we're definitely going to do it again next year. We're going to hopefully continue this to be an annual thing. Obviously we know that new speakers don't come out every year. But we still think it's important for DJs, and not even just DJs, bands, sound technicians, or anybody that uses any kind of a portable speaker, to be able to hear that speaker in a real world situation. It's one thing to go to, a Guitar Center or something like that and hear a speaker in their room. But the problem is you're hearing that speaker that's designed to be used in a room that could be up to 100 by 80, in a room that's 20 by 20. So you're not getting the real feel of that speaker. You're not able to push it to its limits. You're not able to, get it high enough that you can actually feel and hear what it's going to be like inside of, let's say, like a ballroom, like what we're in today. So
sure. Presentation was great. The onstage show. So you had the panel up earlier with Cleveland Terry. Cheney was up there.
So inside story on the whole panel. So that actually came to fruition last night at about 10 p.m. So originally we were supposed to have Glenn Renda come up and do a talk on music theory. Unfortunately, Glenn Renda got ill the last couple of days and wasn't able to make it. So Shandy actually came up with the idea to do a panel talk. And then, you know, obviously we had, you know, Cleveland Terry, Drew Pierce, Hi Kevin, DJ Demand, you know, all of them stepped up huge. And then Mike Walter, you know, he, with me asking him, offered to be the mediator of the panel. And I did not expect anything like what they gave today. You know, I thought it was going to be, you know, just some small talk, you know, with a group of, you know, well-known DJs up there, you know, kind of talking about, you know, themselves, what they do and stuff like that. But they got deep. They got real deep. And inside of that depth was a lot of education.
Sure.
And a lot of stuff that you could take away from it. So
it's always about the nuggets.
That's it.
You take away.
That's it. I said the same thing to Terry today. You know, it's not about what you teach. It's how you teach that. You know, anybody can go in and teach anything they know. Keeping an audience of 140 or 150 people engaged for an hour on what you're teaching is hard. And having the ability to know your audience, how to get what you're trying to say across to your audience, and captivate them at the same time, that's the hard part.
Awesome.
And they slayed that. So
it was great. It was a good turnout for it too. Big auditorium, very well produced and nicely done.
Yeah, and I mean the staff here at the Revere Hotel is absolutely phenomenal. So they've taken very, very good care of us.
Good to hear. Also,
yeah.
Tyler, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way that they can find you on Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, so I mean, all of my social media is the same. It's at DJ Tyler Wallace. You know, just reach out to me anytime. I'm pretty much an open book. You know, anybody wants to, you know, reach out and talk, just hit me up and I'll be more than happy to talk with you.
Super. Appreciate you taking a few times, a little bit of time with me today.
Appreciate you having me here.
Thank you for stopping by, and we'll have some more interviews before we're all said and done.
Sounds good.
So signing off for now. We'll be back in a little while.